Oh, I've pressed the YouTube button, so that might happen sooner rather than later here. So we'll just get started straight away. If that's going out there live now, got it, being live streamed. Okay, so we are live on YouTube now, and we'll welcome Daniel straight in and Gilda. Good evening. Let's let everybody in now. Great to see you, Gilda. Great to see you, Daniel, on this Thanksgiving afternoon and evening. We're already live on YouTube. People are joining us here on Zoom as well. So people getting comfortable. Sarah will be reading us from Spartan FX in just a moment. Good evening, Daniel. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Or was that Daniel? May have been somebody else there. Okay, well, whoever that was, happy Thanksgiving to you. Gilda joining us as well. And other members of the Dream Team to join us. If you want to get your questions in early, do that right away into the chat. The Dream Team is live now. I'm just going to make sure everybody can get into the call. Perfect. And I'll be keeping an eye on YouTube as well to see if there are any questions that are coming in over there. So do keep them coming in from YouTube too. Should we say good evening to Daniel, to Senores, and see what's been going on? Seems to me, and I shouldn't speak too soon really, Daniel, looks like it's been a quiet few days in Portuguese politics. Oh, I think we've lost him again as soon as I ask him the question there. Let's talk to Gilda. Gilda, good evening to you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Olá, boa tarde.
Boa tarde.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. I guess you've been busy talking to quite a few American clients today, wishing them a happy Thanksgiving.
No, I didn't even know it was Thanksgiving.
Maybe your clients are more focused on moving to Portugal than
yes, because today I had many clients at the office, but they were, now that you are talking, they were all British.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So happy Thanksgiving wouldn't have meant a great deal to them.
Yes.
How are you? How's life at Sef, at IMA? You've had a busy day today?
Yes, I did, but with clients.
Okay. All right. And anything to update from the front line of migration?
But they, no, not really.
It's quiet at the moment, just like Portuguese politics, a quiet few days.
Well, there is a bit of confusion with the renewals.
Oh, really? Tell us more about that.
They still don't know how they are going to do it in practice.
Right.
So it's a big interruption. It's a big doubt about that. Because they don't know if it's going to be automatic, if it's going to be in person. It's meant to be in person, but they accepted some appointments and then they cancel the appointments. So it's going a bit strange there. We don't know. We are saying the clients, okay, but the thing is, we already have many clients. Since October, we have not been able to make the renewals.
Right. Now,
is
this an error on their part? Is this bad planning, or do you think there's a strategy behind this?
It's bad planning.
Okay. It's creating more work, isn't it? And the last thing they need at the moment is more work.
No, what happened, someone gave me an explanation. What happened was that this part was supposed to be removed from SEF, which is IMA now, and go to the IRN
registry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
To the registry.
Yeah.
But they don't have the informatic means for that.
Oh, okay. So they haven't got the technology for doing so. How embarrassing.
It took like 3 years for them to be prepared.
Yeah.
But they aren't prepared.
Okay, so there is currently quite a nice IT contract up for grabs in Portugal at the moment, by the sound of it. That's
Yes.
that's quite disturbing to hear, but we'll stay in touch with that as the weeks unfold and we get an update from Gilda each week, or somebody from one of the principals from the team at EI Assessoria Migratoria. Anything else to report from Ima? It's got a bit. But I was gonna go move on straight to the weather. Let me just check with you first. Any more from Ima?
This is very stressful. This situation is very, very
Sure.
stressful because we have clients that don't have renewal since, and they are not able to renew since October.
Wow.
And Christmas is coming.
Yes, right.
So people cannot go home and see and visit their families.
Yes. Yeah, that is stressful and unfortunate and
It's
unfair, really.
it's unfair, it's stressful,
Yes.
it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, good luck with all of that. I hope things improve for you with that and your team with that situation, Gilda. And yet, the weather, it really feels like winter now. The temperature seems to have dropped, Gilda. Is it like that in the capital tonight?
Yes, it is,
It is
and I
properly
hate
winter.
cold.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, us Portuguese people don't like to talk about the winter too much. We just pretend it's not happening and hope.
Yeah.
So we just don't talk about it.
So I don't know why did you bring this subject.
Okay, moving on then. Daniel, good evening to you. How are you this evening? Still not able to make a good connection.
Yeah, I think that something happened to Daniel.
I think so. We see him and then he disappears. So I
Yes,
think
we saw him. He
yeah, I think he's having
disappears.
a similar informatics challenge this evening as well. So hopefully we'll get him back a little bit later on. Let's talk to Nuno in the capital as well. How are you, Nuno Mensch from Winsurance this evening?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good to see you, Carl, and you,
Good to
Jill.
see you.
So I
And
haven't seen you both so many
how are
times,
you?
so
How
many
are
times
you
till
this
now.
evening? And the
Oh,
world
good.
of
So
insurance, the world of
everything is
insurance.
okay. The goods about not the goods, the news about insurance, they are not very good.
Oh,
And going to the reality,
yeah.
today I was lucky to access some information that usually we can't access to. One is, and this is, and both is what is behind the insurance premiums, the health insurance premiums.
Yes.
First, healthcare networks, so multi-care, Medis, advanced care, and so on average, they adjust due to the inflation and so many factors. They adjust the costs, appraising them to 35%. So insurers are paying more 35% to the healthcare providers rather than 6 months ago. This is the first point. The second point is that also this is a result of the lack of responsiveness of the private sector, the SNS, is that what is making the biggest pressure on the insurers is the ages above 60, so from 60 and forward.
Right.
So we are expecting to see, and this is a confirmation. It's not the expectation. We were talking about expectation like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now we'll take it for granted. So we will see health insurance premiums rises a lot, as we haven't seen ever. So we are waiting for this.
Let me rewind you a little bit then to unpack that. Camilla from your team also here tonight. Good evening to you, Camilla. Good to see you here. 35% increase is what the insurance companies are having to pay the medical companies.
Yes.
Because of volume, or the medical companies, the hospitals have put their prices up?
So due to the lack of availability of the public system, more and more people are recurring to the private sector. This is the first. Second, we are assisting to the rise of the costs to medication, in
Yes.
special oncology disease, because nowadays more and more they are avoiding provide the same medication to everyone with the same kind of receipt, and medication is becoming more and more has tailor-made to each person, and this is very expensive. Also, robotic is taking place, and most of the insurers exclude robotics. Most of them, if you look to the wordings, once again, as I'm saying, wording is everything in insurance world.
Yes. Yeah.
Robotic usually is excluded, but if we need this surgery and robotic is used, so we need to pay for our pocket. So all of these is making pressure, and the providers and on the insurers, and finally at customers. So
Okay. Yeah, that those costs will be felt in the premium soon then. How does that happen in Portugal? Do you get a rise in premium upon renewal, or if you're paying monthly premiums, do they rise as well?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Carl, because what we are recommending is to everyone that are thinking on the health insurance, do it until December 15, because until then we could guarantee the 2023 rates for 12 months.
Okay.
So
Right.
the price will be in the end of next year, not in January or in the end of December, because usually if we enroll on the health insurance on the last week of December, we will get only the new insurance premium, because usually insurers close commercial activities or technical activities like 10 days before the end of the year, 10, 15 days, and they take for rates the new ones and not the actual that we are having.
Interesting. So that's almost a Black Friday offer from you tonight.
Oh, no.
To renew to renew early. Now, if you've already got a policy in place, are you allowed to start another policy?
Another policy? Yes, but not on the same insurer.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you could change insurers.
Yes.
And take advantage of the pre-increased price by getting in touch with you and insuring sooner rather than later.
Yes, somehow, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Thinking
Thank you for that.
commercially and has a business with you, and that usually I struggle on thinking this as a business, but yes, you are right.
I'm asking on behalf of our community here, Nunu. So thank you.
And I also have a question.
Go on, Gilda.
I have an insurance that is like for 5 years. Is that going to remain the same, or it's going to increase?
Going to increase for sure. For sure, because premiums are updated every year usually, and the rate, the basic rate, and also increase due to our age. So that's why we usually see the health insurance policies or premiums rise every year. It's because of these two factors, mainly these two factors. Then something that we cannot control is how much of what we are paying is to pay dividends to shareholders. This we don't know. So there are some insurers that they don't see the health insurance as a business, but has their mission is taking care of the people, and they don't have shareholders, so all the premiums that they receive is to pay their structure, of course, the people, the office, and so on, and claims, only these.
Okay.
So,
How about
Okay,
that?
so we need to talk.
There you go. Even the dream team asked questions of the dream team. That's perfect. Thank you, Gilda. Let's see if we can make contact with Daniel now. Thank you for your question, Isa. Thank you, Diana, and to those people on YouTube who've got questions. Good evening to you, Daniel. How are you?
Hello, good evening. I was facing some technical issues and difficulties, as you've probably seen. I've entered and exited the call about 3 or 4 times. My sound was not working, but apart from that, all cool, all good.
It's great we can hear you now. And should
Thank
I?
you.
I've already been told off for talking about the weather. Second subject, politics. So, if in doubt, I'm tempting fate here by saying, Daniel, that it looks like it's been a quiet couple of days in Portuguese politics. Am I right?
Well, the manager or the person governing the public ministry in Portugal, she had quite a pilot's moment. She washed her hands and said, well, for me, that phrase is all good, the one that she put in the declaration stating that the prime minister was being investigated. And so she washed her hands and said, I have nothing to do with that, all good on my side. So I think that was the funny moment of the week, but the week has not finished yet. So let's see if the government still stands. This has been a roller coaster. So we never know if next week we won't have a government. So
6 days
wait and
until the
see.
29th. Yeah, this came up in our earlier session when we were talking to Sarah. Somebody asked, forgive me, I can't remember who was asking, but will we be keeping everybody up to date with what goes on the voting next week on the 29th? What say you about that? We've spoken before about what an important date it is. What do you expect to happen for anyone who's not up to speed?
Well,
on that,
my take on it is that the budget will be approved. My big question mark is, will the NHR rules or the update or the transitory regime will be included or not? That's the big question mark that I have at the current moment.
Yeah.
But I think it will, because it's the majority party that was pushing this forward. But still, it's a bit uncertain. I do wish that the transitory regime will go forward, because it will make it will create a bit more certainty, and it will allow more people to enroll in the NHR. So hopefully we'll have that included in the law, but we'll need to see if this is a reality on the 29th.
And a bit of a pushback on the circulation tax, on the road tax as well, we're hoping.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The majority, as they are on the they are struggling for votes now. They've backtracked, they've backpedaled on that, and they said, well, we need to create a new, more sensible measure because it would be socially unfair and so on. So, yeah, they're backpedaling on those measures that they know that they will face hardships, and votes will not come their way. So. Yeah, I think that's the old car situation will be sorted out. I do have one car that belonged to my grandfather that is from '88, so I'm happy with that.
Can I ask what it is? That sounds like a beauty.
Yes. Well, it's a Toyota Corolla 1.3, and it's a proper old man car. So, yeah.
Yes, I used to have one. It is. You're right. That's a great car. It's a great car.
It is. It's I drove it for quite a long time, and I don't want to get rid of it because it belonged to my grandfather. So I have somewhat of a sentimental value to it, and I wish to keep it as my secondary car that I drive on the weekends. But yeah, if the taxes would skyrocket, I would probably rethink that. But
yeah.
For me, it doesn't make any sense to buy a new car to be more not economically, but economical,
right.
but to be greener. If a car is working, if it's in a good state of repair, it's always greener to keep that car, even though it may consume more gas. But at the end of the day, buying a new car is something that produces a lot of wastes down the line. So I wouldn't see that measure as something green as they were trying to push it. It was just trying to make more money out of the population.
Yes,
so, yeah, I think that's good that it went away.
Agreed. And it's the Portuguese way, isn't it, to keep a car on the road for as long as possible rather than get a newfangled new one.
Yes, and I totally agree with Daniel. This is just was a measure to to take money out of the Portuguese pockets easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way you've made it sound there, Daniel, they're as transparent as rice paper, these politicians, the way they've backtracked on that just to keep in position there. But I'll leave that to other people to make a judgment on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah's back as well. Good evening, Sarah. Great job in the last session, talking about how to move your money around the world, especially here to Portugal. So thank you for rejoining us. Any further thoughts from the earlier webinar?
No, but I think everyone found it really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, is that we're so focused on what's the rate you're going to offer me today and my immediate payments, that they don't think about anything else around, as we said, the exchange rate movements, or just even speed of transfer. Getting your money to a beneficiary by a certain date can sometimes cause problems by using a bank or online provider. Just being able to speak to someone can be really helpful.
Good. Okay, excellent. And you can do that with Spartan FX. You can open up a free account with them, use the details that you're seeing on the screen there, and you'll see as well, 2023 FIFO Platinum Service Award. Well loved, Spartan FX, the whole team there. We spoke about a few of them on the last call. Any questions for Sarah about currency? Pop them in the chat. Let's get into those questions right away. First was from Isa. We'll go to YouTube in a little while as well, so keep the questions coming in there too. I have a question, says Isa. I have a 2-year residence card based on the D7. I had to leave Portugal last June due to my mother's medical case. This will be for you, Gilda, obviously. And I had to stay with her until now. And I'm going back to Portugal next month, just before the 6 months period is over. And it's the first time I travel outside of Portugal since getting my residence card. Should I get with me any certified medical reports to prove to immigration at the airport why I was out of Portugal for almost 6 months? I won't exceed the continuous 6 months out of Portugal, but I'm just worried if they will question me why I was out for almost 6 months. Is this common, or what should I do? Gilda, what should Isa do in this situation?
I think no, I'm sure that she should keep these medical certifications, or even better, she could ask for her doctor's mother to explain that she was there to support her mother for this and for that during this and that period.
Yeah.
Why? In this case, she didn't exceed the 6 months. But let's suppose that something happens and she needs to leave again.
Yep.
Or for some other reason, she wants to go out again, like for holidays, for visits or something.
Mm-hmm.
When the time comes, you don't need to show anything in the borders, okay? You just come in. You don't need to show anything in the borders. But when the time comes for you to renew your resident permit, if it's not going to be automatically, they can make an audit and they can pull and see how long you were far away, for how long you were out of Portugal.
Yes.
And in that case, you need to show and prove why you were away from Portugal.
Okay.
And being away for family reasons, it's one of the legal justifications.
Very good. There you go, Isa. So keep that paper trail, doctor's letter if possible, your mother's physician. If you can get an official letter from them, that will be very useful. Not necessarily for entry, but for the audit in the future. Thanks, Gilda, for that. Let's stay with you. For Diana, I am planning to move to Portugal sometime in July of next year, July 24. Is it too soon to start the application process now, or should I wait until next year? And I think you've asked there, haven't you, which consulate will Diana be applying from? If we generalize that question, time scale, time span, when's the right time to start getting the ducks in a row, as it were, Gilda?
Well, if we're talking about most of our public here, which is United States, UK, I should say 3 to 4 months before. The planning should be 6 months before.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the application process is 3 to 4 months. We've got an answer back from Diana, which is Washington, D.C. And Tim is also asking, question for you, similar question about moving to Portugal in the next 6 months or so. Will be using the consulate in San Francisco, have not started the process yet. So do you want to talk about the distinctions there between San Francisco, whether that affects the timing, and Washington, D.C.?
Yes, San Francisco takes more. San Francisco takes more from the time you try to book an appointment until you get an appointment. For instance, I think the appointments, if you try to make now an appointment, the appointments are for April, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Okay.
So, like, you need to be prepared in advance. I think that for Washington, D.C., you can take for February.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. For Tim.
So different consulates, they have different timings.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Diana. Tim and Kurt, I hope that helps. If it doesn't, we'll let us know and we'll ask further questions on your behalf. Let's go over to YouTube now. My Italian therapy, Gina Fiore. Good evening to you, Gina. We are more interested about in our move to Portugal than Thanksgiving. Yes, Carl. Lol, appreciate all your information. I have an appointment with Duarte on Monday. Thanks, guys. But we are thankful as well. Okay, so thank you for that, Gina. And the Naunu, my VFS appointment was on the 20th of November. I had all the necessary documents, but then they asked for flight tickets to and from Lisbon. Since we don't know when the visa will arrive, it was quite weird. I didn't want to argue with them, so I bought the tickets and submitted everything, but not sure if it was really required or forced by VFS, like accepting only 3 months of an old police clearance instead of 6. What do you say about that, Gilda, with this wanting to see tickets to fly to Portugal?
In our visas process, we always submit a visa tickets.
Okay,
tickets.
so nothing unusual about that.
No, because we know that they always, it's not that they always ask for it, but 19% of the times they ask for it.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing about your company, isn't it? The things that are done aren't necessarily the law, but they are, in your experience, common sense things that get asked about. So you take a belt and braces approach, don't you, just to make
Yes, but what we do is that we don't provide the final ticket, we provide a reservation.
Yep. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you very much, Nanu. I hope that helps. Andrew, over on YouTube, I renewed automatically on the old CEF portal 2 weeks ago. It seems like the process went okay. Status is now concluido. Now hoping that the cards will be delivered. Any successful auto renewals yet, in your experience, you and your team, Gilda?
Not yet.
Okay.
We also are because you see, this is like this is very confusing. According to the law, the renewals don't belong to CEF anymore. So it's like if you are making a renewal on the portal of CEF, it's something that it's not under the Portuguese regulation anymore.
Yeah, for the reasons you gave before, right? It's been dispatched to a different department, and that connection hasn't been made yet technologically, by the sound of it, from what.
But this is such a mess of a country that the clients start telling us, but like if we keep doing it on the CEF website, it's going, and we were like, no, but if we do that, it's not under the law. And they insisted. So now what we did is that we informed our clients that, okay, this is not according to the law, but it seems like it's working. So you can choose.
Yeah.
If you choose to do this, it's under your own risk. If you want to wait and do it however they are going to decide it's going to do, you wait. So we've tried for some clients that wanted to take at their own risk, but until now, no one of them got the residency. But it's too soon because they only started in the beginning of the month.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that question, Andrew. Sorry, there's not a better answer for you there, or a clearer one. LaRonda, speaking
But at the least you were not the only one.
No, there you go. I hope you can take some consolation in that. I was just thinking there, Gilda, with this change of government that's possible next year, it would make great sense, would it not, for the new politicians in their new jobs, if that's how it turns out, to invite the dream team to a meeting and to get the feedback from the professionals in the business about what works, what doesn't work. Is that likely that you would be consulted in that way?
I don't think so.
I was getting a no there, but I just thought I'd ask anyway. I mean, it's sort of common sense and the obvious thing to do, isn't it? You're working on the front line of migration, dealing with foreigners coming into Portugal. It would make complete sense for the government to say, those dream team guys, they need to be here. We need to talk to them. Okay. Speaking of cars, I have a 2015 VW Golf TDI, which is a diesel. How do I find out if my car, this is probably for Nuno actually, not directly. It's not like he's a mechanic or his car dealer, but he might know the answer to this. Daniel might as well. How do I find out if my car will meet Portugal's emission standards? My state, California, has some of the strictest standards in the US. I'm considering bringing my car to Portugal, but haven't decided yet. ACP are good to talk with. GIR, if you're going to actually ship it, La Ronda. What do you say about that, Nuno? Have you heard anything along these lines about the emissions?
Yeah, not precisely with emissions, but with the overall conditions of the car. So to these situations of car importation, when they arrive Portugal and we start all the process with IMT and so on, it's mandatory to do exam to the car, the inspeção and inspection, and there is when they give the report saying what changes need to be made and so on.
Okay.
So
all right.
I know about it's not my field, okay, but I know that is something around this.
Okay, and we can help with a relationship with ACP, the Automobile Club de Portugal, over on the Expats Portugal Business Directory as well. Thank you for that, Nuno. Let's go to and good evening, Camilla. By the way, let's go to YouTube where Post is. Good evening to you, Post. Good to see you this evening. Hello, I'm under the NHR. My accountant advised me to withdraw money from Hong Kong in 23-24. Didn't understand clearly why. What the law is coming. What the law is coming about blacklisted countries. Does that make any sense to you, Daniel? Why that accountant might have suggested withdrawing money from Hong Kong?
Who is blacklisted? I'm sorry.
It was the question is, and you might
Hong Kong.
Yeah, it was
Withdraw
Hong Kong.
money from Hong Kong because it's blacklisted under the NHR.
No, but that's not a problem. If the Hong Kong bank allows money coming in, it can enter Portugal. That's not problematic. If it's just moving money, or haven't I perceived the question fully?
Yeah, the Post, you might have to give us a bit more information there
just to keep it clear, if it's just transferring money from Hong Kong to Portugal, I don't see any problems at all. I've had other clients doing that.
Yep.
And if it's not income, it doesn't need to be declared in Portugal. So if it's just money deposited prior to the tax residency being acquired, that person can move the money to Portugal. If the compliance of the Portuguese bank asks something, what is the origin of the money, where it was obtained, well, it will need to be justified, and for the documents will need to be provided. The blacklisting is just for tax purposes, and because Hong Kong does not cooperate with the Portuguese authorities in terms of sharing information. So that's basically the overview of the situation.
Okay, hopefully that will help you, Post. If you've got any further questions, do ask them over there on YouTube. Thanks, Daniel, for that, and Gilda. Let's stay with the NHR. Mrs. Scance is asking, if someone is planning on moving next summer, wouldn't it be best to apply before the end of the year, even if it's early, to ensure you can benefit from the NHR? I think you've probably answered that question quite a lot for quite a few people this week, Gilda.
Yes, it will, but I don't think it's going to be possible because the consulates are pre-booked already.
Right. Okay. So technically, yes, Mrs. Scance is right, but the actual logistics of that happening, you think, are looking a bit unlikely.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. All right.
However, I am pretty positive that the Socialist Party is going to approve the transition of the NHR during the next year.
But for people who've showed their interest in 23, right? Or do you think there's going to be a further extension?
I think let's see.
Oh, Gilda, we were on the edge of our seat there. I could see people moving towards the camera and on the Zoom call. What's Gilda about to say? And then she says, we'll see.
I think the 10th of October, that the dates that they put it there that don't make any sense.
Okay, so you think there might be some further clarification which could be advantageous
Yes.
for people. Okay, we'll see. 6 days time, 29th, we will find out, won't we? I have an appointment January the 24th, says Debbie, with Washington DC VFS, but my arrival in Portugal is not until about May the 20th. Is my VFS appointment too early? Asked Debbie.
Too early for what?
But Debbie, come back to us on that appointment January the 21st with Washington DC VFS, but my arrival in Portugal is not until about May the 20th. Is my VFS appointment too early?
No, because it's going to take like well, it depends, because they are being the last visas that we have done in Washington DC were quite fast.
Okay, all right, so
less than 1 month. So maybe if they are that fast, or January, end of February, you will have March, April, May. Yeah, you have 3 months, you'll be fine.
Okay, great. Thanks, Gilda. Stay with you for Brendan's question from YouTube. Evening. How long does a police clearance certificate last as an official document? Isn't that 6 months?
3 months.
3 months. Okay. All right. I beg your pardon. I shouldn't try and answer these questions. So forgive me for that. Let's stay. Oh, thank you, Gilda, from Debbie. People in the big Facebook group seem to think it's too early, but I don't trust random Facebook strangers. That she's right not to trust random Facebook strangers, right? And just come to the dream team and hear what Gilda has to say about these things.
Okay, let's make a calculation.
All right.
You have an appointment in January.
Yep, 24th.
24th. Most like in the best option, your visa is going to be issued 1 month after.
Yeah.
On the 24th of February. Okay. The visa is valid for 4 months. So you have, from February, you have March, April, May, 3 months. You still have like 1 extra.
Yeah. Take that, big Facebook group. Okay. Thank you, Debbie, for your question. And thank you, Gilda, for that answer. That's from Debbie and me as well. While we're with you, Gilda, how is Mandela doing? It's been an interesting few weeks. It's been a little bit awkward, if quite frankly. So how is he doing at the moment? How are you doing?
You mean how he's dealing with all these changes?
What, with Ima and Seth? No, well, he's probably picking up from you the stress from work, but how is he doing? He was a little bit naughty, and there was a little bit of concern about the owner-dog relationship a couple of weeks ago. How is that going at the moment?
Yeah, he's the same. Yeah, with his mental issues, but.
Mental issues, okay. All right. I'm picking up the signals that you don't want to talk about it anymore. Fair enough. I'll keep asking you.
Yeah, keep asking. One day I will say he's fine. He's amazing.
He's fine.
I'm still waiting for that day.
He's been discharged by his psychotherapist and all is well. Lol, I don't want to name the group, but it's the big one. Says Debbie. Thank you, Gilda.
I don't know, dear Debbie. I don't know.
Busy.
I don't want to know. Yeah.
Right, we're too busy to be in those big groups, but Debbie, you got some value there from Gilda. Right, keep those questions coming in. Like I said before, have you had too many mimosas on Thanksgiving Day? Has the tryptophan from the turkey kicked in? It's a little bit laid back, I have to say, in the chat. Let's go over and...
I was never in the Thanksgiving dinner or lunch. Never.
Okay, I'm picking up from that.
Please invite me. I want to
would
go.
like to be invited next year to. But not. Have you never been invited, despite
Never.
working with Portuguese with American clients? You've never been invited to a Thanksgiving
Never.
lunch or dinner.
They come here, they just want to eat bacalhau, but they never invite me.
Well, I think that will be put right at some point. And if not this year, a late invitation, you'll get one for next year. And that's a question I have for you. We're also waiting for more questions to come in. Of course, the big Portuguese celebration is Christmas, and we're beginning to feel that now, aren't we? You know, the lights are going on in the towns. The shops certainly were all over it in November, early November, as soon as Halloween was out the way, the Christmas stuff was in the shops. Perhaps we can tell people, they can tell us how they celebrate Thanksgiving, and we can share a little bit about Christmas. Is it all right? I'll start with you, Gilda. Is it okay to be in the festive spirit and to start celebrating Christmas already here in Portugal, or is it too early for you?
For me, it's too early. I only start on the 1st of December.
1st of December for you then, and then we'll be looking forward to a Christmas Eve, as I recall, a special Christmas Eve for Portuguese people, staying up late, maybe opening a few presents, and some bacalhau on Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that? Traditional Christmas, Daniel, helping people, for some of those unfortunate people that Gilda was saying might be stuck here for Christmas, who do want to go home but might be stuck here, how they should celebrate Christmas here. What have we missed from that list there, Daniel?
Well, reach out for neighbors. That's the first thing that I do have as an advice. Because if you do reach out and if you say, well, I'm spending my Christmas alone, or it's just one or two people, the Portuguese people will invite you for Christmas. You will be invited. This is quite common. When someone perceives that there's another human being that will spend the Christmas alone, you will be invited. So reach out and don't spend your Christmas alone. There's no point in doing that. Portuguese are close-knit family types, and you will be invited for a bigger family in Portugal. So the advice is not material, not something that you should buy. If you want to buy food, well, that's more than okay. A bottle of wine for the party. But reach out. That's the best advice that I have.
I am so glad you asked, and that will come as a blessing and a relief, I think, for some people who feel like they might be here this Christmas for the first time, or it wasn't part of their plan, and you'll be made welcome by the Portuguese people. No. Thank you, Daniel. Anything to add to that? Is it a particularly favorite time of yours? I'm guessing it might be. That was for you, Nunu.
Oh, sorry. I thought that you are still.
What is happening with these people? No
Daniel.
one is paying attention. I feel the energy is very low today. Come on, people.
No. I
Smile,
thought that
up, wake up.
You've been told off by
Daniel is still talking and replying to you. So sorry.
Headmistress Pereira has told us all off now. How do you like to? Is it a favourite festival of yours, Nunu? And what would you add to the how people might go about the festivities as foreigners here?
Festivities. Well, in Portugal, we celebrate these festivities as everything is about family. Yeah, mainly. So, and I always celebrate it with my family. Sometimes I need to choose the family to celebrate, and we change every year. Yes. But it's not for me. It's not about the celebration itself. It's more about being with the relatives. Yeah. Which I feel close, but I'm with them 3-4 times a year, even being close. So yes, and this take advantage of the moment to share time with them and dedicate my time to them. So
very nice. So some good advice for people who are spending their first Christmas here as well. Good evening to those of you who are doing that for the first time here in Portugal. Bit of preparation for you. Camilla, have you got anything to add about celebrating Christmas? Have you got a favorite food or wine or some other speciality that we should try for Christmas 23?
It's hard when you are far from your family.
Okay.
Sometimes can be sad, but you have to meet your friends and your neighbors. It's common here. Last year was my first Christmas here, and just the neighbor from the other door invited me to have a meal with them.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they are so lovely, and you'll never be alone.
Oh, just
You're
what Daniel
always
said.
gonna have a neighbor that is gonna invite you, and you have to go.
Beautiful. So you might be doing that. You might be reflecting that yourself this year with your with this Christmas. Thank you so much for that. On another angle with Christmas, and this is important, Gilda, I'll come back to you. Thanks, Camilla. When are things slowing down for Christmas business-wise, and what's the shutdown in Portugal? Because not everybody knows that. When do you think things will be winding down in terms of business processes and government processes?
Some consulates close, some don't.
Okay, so it's a bit variable. You have to check with your own with the people you're working.
I know. Like London usually closes.
And when you say closes, what do you mean? Like from Christmas Eve right through until the New Year?
Yeah, between Christmas and New Year.
Right. Okay.
And there is one in, I don't know if it's in France or Germany, that there is only one lady that works there, and in Christmas and between Christmas New Year, by that time she takes 3 weeks off, and she sends an email and says, I'm going to take 3 weeks off, the consulate is going to be closed because it's only me here. Bye.
Well, that's very considerate of her, isn't it, to do that? Maybe they could think about getting extra staff now in that period. Okay, so things will be closing down in some places before Christmas and reopening in the new year. Anything else people need to know about Portuguese culture in terms of business hours? Is that normal for a lot of businesses to be shut from Christmas Eve right through until Christmas to the New Year's Day or there soon after?
Sometimes they will give you the day follow the next day after Christmas and the next day after New Eve. But this year, because it's going to be on a Monday, I think it's not going to happen.
Right. So back to work on the 1st of January.
No, on the 2nd.
2nd of January. Okay, so you'll get the New Year's Day off and then back on Tuesday the 2nd.
I don't know. The girls from my company are already crying for the 2nd and for the 26th. And
of course. You'll have to face that as the business owner. Okay, all right. Well, just a little bit of a heads up there for people. Of course, bear in mind that things will slow down at Christmas. People will be in festive mood, and there's no harm in going to your local businesses and giving them a bottle of wine and saying thank you for their help throughout the year.
One thing that it's very common, it's that on Christmas time we usually share wine, chocolates, things like that between the partners.
Yeah.
And
very good.
Like me and Daniel, isn't it? I want my wine this year.
All right, put your order in now, the dream team. Brilliant. Okay.
It's in the making, Gilda, don't worry.
Okay,
superb. Okay, back to the questions then. Debbie, who has taken advantage, I think, of the Black Friday premium membership offer? Well done, Debbie. You're also helpful. I just jumped on a premium membership. Great to see that. Anyone else who wants to take advantage of that? Can you help us with that, Astrid, and give us some more details of that offer?
The Black Friday offer?
Yeah, please.
Yes, well, we're on sale. We're going to obviously jump on board the Black Friday bandwagon. We are on sale 50% off between now and Monday evening. So
there you go, it's on premium membership. Perfect. Yeah, very good.
And that includes a one-to-one consultation as well. So with a great value.
Yeah, very good. Very excellent stuff. All right, thank you for that. So take advantage of that for premium membership Black Friday offer there. And Debbie, of course, you can have another question. Sorry to be so greedy. Not at all. That's what the session's about, is asking questions between now until about 12 minutes time, where we'll wrap up at 10. I was unable to get a D7 appointment, so I made a long stay appointment. I figured out it was better than just showing up at their door without an appointment. Will they turn me away? Asked Debbie. For you, Gilda.
If you walk for an appointment?
Well, it looks like that. I was unable to get a D7 appointment, so I made a long stay appointment. I figured out it was better just than showing up at their door without an appointment. Will they turn me away?
No, that is much better if you show with an appointment, because I'm going to explain a situation that we had this week. Everyone is talking about these walking appointments or whatever they call. And it depends on the mood of who is there.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course. So we had the clients that only had one appointment and the husband didn't have. And they said, no, we are going only to take you, not your husband. You only have one appointment.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yes. And then the client called us and said, they are not going to take my husband's appointment.
Yeah.
And it was going to be very difficult because the way that the process was prepared, it only makes sense if it was together because of the bank accounts, of the investments, of everything. And then we said, you only have one chance.
Yeah.
You go there, you start to cry, and you pretend that you are having a meltdown.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, you go to the floor and you do something like that. And
Bang on the
so
floor,
she went there.
Right.
Yeah, she started to cry.
Yeah.
She said that she never thought that was going to happen, and she waited a long time and blah 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 blah. She got so hysterical and so nervous that everyone wanted to calm her down, and they got oh my God, this is being recorded. Oh,
yeah, it is. And it may well be in the Oscars next year. So the nominations for Meltdown at your Seth appointment go to... Can we have the winner, please? All right, let's move on.
Okay, but yes, they made it.
It does sound like quite a good movie.
But it's not what I advise. Never.
No, definitely not. This is just an anecdote that you're sharing. Okay, so...
what I advise and what I was saying is that you should go with an appointment always to avoid this kind of situations.
Exactly. Although that's being thoroughly enjoyed over on the YouTube chat, Mrs. Scance, glad you enjoyed that. We are getting questions in and comments. Mrs. Scance is saying, I hope Gilda, this is a comment on what you were saying earlier on, Gilda. I hope Gilda is onto something with the arbitrary 10th of October date. We enrolled our son in school about 2 weeks later. I wanted to cry when I saw the date. So keep your eye on what's going on. I'm sure that'll be reported upon in the Expats Portugal forum, and we'll have something to say about it next Thursday, I'm sure, as well. I agree with Gilda. 1st of December is the time to put up the Christmas tree. Thank you, Brendan, for that. Hi, Casablanca. Good evening to you on YouTube. David C. I'm a EU citizen planning to come to Portugal in December. It seems not easy to find long-term rentals for a reasonable price. Would 6 months contract be sufficient to apply for tax residency, Gilda?
No, it needs to be 1 year.
It's got to be a year, and now's the time to mention Casa Portuguesa, I would have thought, for David C as well.
But if you want help,
you know where they are.
You reach me, and I know a company that can help you.
He does, actually. Kieran, my name is Kieran. I am preparing for a D8 digital nomad visa. It's been ages since we've mentioned it.
Yeah.
Can I use an Airbnb booking as proof of accommodation for visa processing, Gilda?
It depends on the consulate. But it's getting harder and harder to convince the consulates to use Airbnbs for the D8s.
All right. So yeah, it depends from place to place, Kieran. Nubianet, good evening to you. Listening while cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Grateful for you all and my future move. Also, Gilda, it's Sagittarius season.
Do you know that I'm Sagittarian?
I would have guessed is my answer to that. I'm from Dubai, says Kieran. Does that what do you think with the Airbnb status there of the rental agreement for Dubai?
No, it's not going to
Not
get
going to work. Not going to fly there from Dubai. Sorry, Kieran. And Gina, that is hysterical. Not everyone could pull that performance off, I'm sure. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's go back to Zoom and see what else is being discussed over on Zoom. I think things are drying up here for Thanksgiving. Mimosas are being sipped. The smell of turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce is in the air.
Oh, I
Don't
wanted to try that, the turkey with cranberry sauce. I
Please,
only saw it in the
somebody.
movies.
Yeah, please, somebody invite Gilda for next year's
Send me a
Thanksgiving.
piece of that.
Maybe, Astrid, we could go a step further, couldn't we? And maybe create some sort of Thanksgiving event. What do you think about that for next year?
You are putting
Sounds like a great idea.
Yes, I think so. Okay. And bring gin for Gilda, or Ginda, she's sometimes known as well. So Thanksgiving, we're all sorted out for Thanksgiving next year in November, of course, of 2024, when hopefully many of you will be here and celebrating your first Thanksgiving over here. I do notice that, actually. I was in Caldas de Rainha today, which some say is becoming so popular with Americans. It's called Caldas de Rainha. And there was a massive Thanksgiving event there today. Lots of Americans enjoying themselves. And I think that's becoming more popular around the country, the American Thanksgiving dinner across Portugal. And I'm sure increasingly so that will happen. I think we're just about wrapping up here. So I'll go to final words from the Dream Team this evening. Oh, quickie from LaRonda. Is there any way at all to have the banking documents completed without having them apostilled? It's very expensive, Gilda, apostilling bank documents. Is there an alternative?
I will send you an email in private.
LaRonda, get in touch with Gilda about that. Debbie, great session. Thanks all, and happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. Thank you very much for that. So let's go around the panel and get some Thanksgiving in this season I mean, that's what this festival, this holiday is about, right? It's giving thanks. You might want to do that in your closing comments. Let's start with Sarah at Spartan FX in the UK. Do you have a special thank? It's like being the Queen suddenly, isn't it? Do you have a special Thanksgiving message for our community this evening?
No, but I think it's sort of similar to Christmas, really. When I did a year abroad at university, I was living in North Carolina, so I know they do, big celebrations there of like Thanksgiving is almost on par really with Christmas, actually. But I think the ethos is the same. It's just what we've said about Christmas, about appreciating family and friends. And again, even my family at Christmas, we've had people come and join us so that they're not alone. I think the same thing happens at Thanksgiving as well.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay. And you can open up a free account with Spartan FX for exchanging your your dollars or whatever your native currency is into euros. And you can use the details on the screen that you can see there. Expats Portugal at spartanfx.co.uk. Great job tonight, Sarah. The earlier webinar and for being here this evening. Thank you so much, and all the best to the much loved Spartan FX team when you see them tomorrow in the office, and stay warm in the UK as well. Let's go to insurance. Nunu, any closing comments from you? It's an interesting time, of course. The premiums are going up. Do you have a Thanksgiving message that you would like to share with everybody this evening?
Oh, this is my personal Thanksgiving. I say thanks to all the challenges and problems that I need to handle with. I truly believe that when we are on with a calm sea, we don't achieve much. We don't go very far. So yeah, complicated times when we see them not as a problem but as a challenge. Oh, it can be what a journey. So thanks for the journey.
It's a pleasure. So yeah, a calm sea never made a great sailor. Camilla from Insurance, did you want to add anything to that?
I agree with Nuno, of course, because he always put us to think out the box, and this makes us better and better every day.
There you go. Fantastic. Thanks, Camilla. Thanks, Nuno. Over to you, Daniel. A Thanksgiving message from you that you weren't expecting to be making tonight.
Well, I just have this doggy to thank.
Hello.
Special appearance. And well, probably thank you to the Portuguese government. Never a dull moment. That's my two thank yous.
That's
the doggy
great.
and the Portuguese government.
A constitutional Thanksgiving message tonight
Yes.
for all the curveballs and plot twists of recent times. Thanks, Daniel. Find Daniel in the Expats Portugal Business Directory at Raising Pelicano, of course. And finally, then, Gilda, a Thanksgiving message. Not that you got invited to any lunches or dinners. And, I can understand if you're a bit disappointed about that. And we'll put it right for next year. What's your Thanksgiving message for everybody?
Well, first, I was invited to the last lunch, and I really appreciate it. And it was very good. I enjoyed the company. So thank you for that. That's a good start. Then I want to thank all my team. They have been amazing in these tough times.
Yeah.
And then I want to thank my clients because they understand. They are being quite understandable from what we have been through, and they are like asking us, "What can we do for you? How can we help you?" And they are really worried. They text me. They are asking if I'm taking care of myself, if I'm taking enough sleep, and they are bringing goods to the office. And I think that this is the kind of relationship that I believed and that I wanted to create with my clients. Not only a relationship based on the service, but always also taking care and being taken care of.
Wonderful. That's superb. Thank you very much, Gilda, for that wonderful Thanksgiving message there. Since then, a few more questions have come in. Donald, with your question about the cruise certificate, I suggest you get in touch with Gilda because we're running out of time here. And Kieran, you also get in touch with Casa Portuguesa to get a quote for the cost of a single person, some value accommodation. I'm sure Casa Portuguesa can help you with that. Simon Bradshaw, I think we should read this. It's going to be a little lonely this Christmas as it's my first in Portugal and Nazaré and on my own. I would suggest, as Daniel said, reaching out to local people. They won't see you lonely. Was thinking about going to Madeira for the festivities. What do you think? Sounds like Christmas in paradise. Sounds wonderful in Madeira there, Simon. But don't be lonely. I'm sure if you let people know in Nazaré that you're going to be alone this Christmas, they'll make sure you're invited somewhere and you'll get looked after. Thank you, Gina over there and Squire of the Shires, enjoying the laughter of friends, mouth-watering aromas, and cheer that we'll remember. Fantastic, Squire of the Shires. Good evening to you. Thanks to the dream team here. Thank you to Nuno and Camilla, to Sarah, to Daniel, and to Gilda, who we know, of course, is a Sagittarius, someone is saying over on YouTube. Back to you, Astrid, to close. I think we've got a real estate special next Thursday.
We do real estate, especially for real estate that's relevant for visa processes and the NHR. So that's one not to be missed. And I should actually mention the next Saturday night, so the first Saturday of the month, we also have Hank and Connie's Social Saturday. So you can find that in the events calendar on expatsportugal.com. And it's free to come along and mingle with other people, like-minded people, and make friends prior to moving to Portugal.
Would that be a Hanksgiving then?
Yeah, a Hanksgiving.
I guess. Okay, thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.